My name is John Owens, the owner of Lancaster Lime Works. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to make lime wash out of our lime putty. It's a very simple process which involves just a couple steps, and it will potentially save you a lot of money for making your own lime wash. When you're making lime wash and you're dealing with a high calcium, high pH lime, the first thing is to put on gloves. The high pH will burn your skin. It will dry it out very quickly. It's very important to put on gloves. And you should have some type of safety glasses as well. So our lime putty comes in a 5-gallon bucket, also comes in 1-gallon buckets with a little bit of water on top. The first thing you do is pour the water off. And then just set the water aside. You're not going to need it. Then you measure a 1-gallon bucket of putty. A 1-gallon bucket, not to the very tippy top, because that'll be too much. So you're going down to the typical 1-gallon mark. And I just use my gloves. I dip right into it and I pack it in a 1-gallon bucket. Like thick cream cheese. Pack it in, pack it in. You have a lot of these to do. If you take the drill with the beater attachment and mix up the 5-gallon bucket, it will come out of the bucket a little bit quicker. But this shows you the worst case scenario. So you're taking the lime putties out, packing it in, and the idea is you want to get 5 1-gallon buckets of putty out of 1 5-gallon bucket of putty. So if you overfill it, you're not going to end up getting 5. So you want to make sure you have just enough in there. So that's the first step. Pretty simple. 1-gallon bucket of putty. Then the next step would be get an empty, clean 5-gallon bucket and dump your putty into it. Whoop. And there you have it. So now I have 1 gallon of putty in an empty 5-gallon bucket. Now I have a 5-gallon bucket of water right here. And this is where it gets important to pay attention. Put about a half a gallon of water into your 1-gallon bucket. And I like to rinse the sides off a little bit to get all the little pieces of putty out of here. There's no reason to waste them. Clean your glove off a little bit. And kind of rinse it off in that water. I just do it in the bucket that I measured with, and then pour it in. That is the start of your lime wash. All right, I like to have my tools ready to go. So this is a right angle drill that is also variable speed. And the variable speed is actually really important, because if you don't have one that's variable speed, you turn it on, it starts going full blast and it wants to splash out everywhere. So if you get a variable speed drill, you can start slow. Put it down in here and you're basically mixing the water and the putty together to make like a thick sour cream. So it's going from cottage cheese into like a sour cream consistency. Whoops. See how it splashes out so easily? Variable speed, slowly. It can be a messy job, but you can see it thickening up there. So it's a dirty job, no matter which way you look at it. Okay, so once you have a thick sour cream type consistency, then you're going to add a little bit more water to it. Now the reason we add a little water at a time is because if we were to take that bucket of putty and put it in a 4 gallons of water and put your mixer in, it would make a massive mess. It would be splashing everywhere and you'd have little pieces of cottage cheese type lime putty floating around and it would never break up. So you add the water slowly. So grab a little more water. Put it in, about 1 gallon. Put it on low. Nothing you can do to prevent splashing. So you do that until it looks very, very creamy. You don't want to see any lumps. Okay, that's about it. It's pretty quick. Take another gallon of water, put it in, turn the mixer on slow. So the ratio is 1 gallon of putty to 4 gallons of water. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So when the bucket is, when your 5 gallon bucket is filled to the top, there's your 4 gallons of water. So I usually rinse the mixer off a little bit. Put it aside. And then I just dump in the water. Up to about the 5 gallon mark. It's easy enough. Then I take my other 5 gallon bucket. This is the water I poured off the putty to start. Pour it back on the putty. Save that water. You need it to put on top of the putty anyway to keep it from carbonating. Now you can take your lime wash and pour it. Back and forth between two 5 gallon buckets. Sometimes I'll take my hand and rub gently in there. And pour it in violently up so it really works it up and really mixes it up. And there you have it. That's your 5 gallon bucket of lime wash. That's it.